Retirement, that magical time when you can finally relax, travel the world and, oh right, inflation. Turns out retiring during a period of skyrocketing prices is about as fun as a colonoscopy with a cheese grater. Prices on everything, from groceries to gas to healthcare, are going up faster than a SpaceX rocket. And guess who's stuck footing the bill? Retirees living on fixed incomes are getting squeezed harder than a tube of toothpaste in a prison riot. Retirees? They're stuck watching their hard-earned savings evaporate faster than a puddle in Death Valley. But hey, at least there's Social Security, right? That beacon of hope, guaranteeing a comfortable retirement for all. Except, not so much. While Social Security does provide a crucial safety net, it's not exactly known for its lavish payouts. Fear not, dear retirees. The government, in their infinite wisdom, has devised a solution to combat the inflation scourge cost of living adjustments, or COLAs. These yearly increases to Social Security benefits are supposed to help seniors maintain their purchasing power as prices rise. Sounds great, right? Well, here's the catch. COLAs are about as effective as a screen door on a submarine. Think of it like this. Imagine you're standing on a train track, and a runaway train called inflation is barreling towards you. The government, in their infinite generosity, throws you a Band-Aid. That Band-Aid, that's your COLA. The problem is, COLAs are calculated based on a flawed system that often underestimates the real impact of inflation on seniors. So while you may be getting a slightly bigger Social Security check every year, it's not keeping up with the rising cost of, well, everything. Now you might be wondering, how do they even determine these COLAs? Buckle up, Buttercup, because it's about to get bureaucratic in here. The government uses something called the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers, CPIW, to track inflation. Catchy name, right? Essentially, the CPIW measures the average change in prices for a basket of goods and services consumed by, you guessed it, urban wage earners and clerical workers. Here's the kicker. Retirees don't necessarily spend their money on the same things as your average 9-to-5er. For example, healthcare costs, which tend to rise faster than other expenses, make up a much larger portion of a retiree's budget. And let's not forget about those pesky housing costs, which have been shooting up like a game of price gouging limbo. So, while the CPIW might be an adequate measure of inflation for some, it's about as useful as a chocolate teapot when it comes to reflecting the actual spending habits of retirees. COLA predictions, hold on to your dentures, it's going to be a bumpy ride. Now let's talk numbers. In 2023, retirees got a whopping 8.7% COLA increase. Sounds impressive, right? Well, hold your horses. While it was the largest increase in decades, it was basically playing catch-up with the inflation Godzilla that had already stomped all over their purchasing power. As for the future, well, predicting COLAs is about as reliable as a weather forecast in a hurricane. But experts are estimating a significantly smaller COLA for 2025, somewhere in the 3% range. Now 3% might sound okay on paper, but remember that pesky little thing called inflation? If inflation stays high, that 3% increase will feel about as substantial as a thimble of water in the Sahara Desert. The struggle is real. When retirement dreams become ramen noodle nightmares. So what does all this mean for retirees? In a word, trouble. Many seniors are being forced to make difficult choices, cutting back on essentials like food, medicine, and even heat, just to make ends meet. Imagine you've worked your tail off for decades, paid your dues, and finally reached the promised land of retirement. You pictured leisurely mornings, cruises to exotic locales, maybe even spoiling your grandkids rotten. Instead, you're clipping coupons, skipping meals, and choosing between filling your prescriptions or keeping the lights on. That's the reality for far too many seniors in America today. The saddest part? Many retirees are too proud to ask for help, suffering in silence as their golden years tarnish under the weight of financial strain. Don't panic yet. Tips for navigating the retirement crisis storm. Before you cash in your 401k, take a deep breath. It's not all doom and gloom. There are things retirees can do to navigate this inflationary hellscape. First, create a budget. Get serious about tracking your spending. Consider downsizing to free up cash and reduce housing costs. Explore part-time work for extra income and to combat retirement boredom. Seek professional financial advice to create a personalized plan. Remember, you're not alone in this. Stay informed, stay proactive, and don't lose hope.